Hello, you are watching the English News Bulletin on DAV channel at 7 a.m. local time here in Saigon. The first news today is that Chi Minh City growth worst in 35 years because of COVID-19. The biggest city in Vietnam has faced many COVID-19 challenges and failed to meet several growth targets. Ho Chi Minh City recorded a year-on-year GDP contraction of 24% in the third quarter, dragging estimated growth for the year to negative 6.7%, the lowest in 35 years. As of Tuesday, the city had recorded over 419,000 COVID-19 cases with 18,555 deaths since the beginning of the pandemic. 71 of the cases are active, with nearly 94% self-isolating and treating themselves at home. Chi Minh City has been cautioned that the new variant Omicron could threaten the city's accomplishment in containing the virus. Mr. Mai said COVID-19 has not ended, which means we are lower our guard. The city needs to continue to fight COVID-19 while targeting economy. The city has resumed economic activity since the beginning of the fourth quarter, but several establishments remain closed to prevent another outbreak, he added. And Nguyễn Văn Nén, Secretary of Ho Chi Minh City Party Committee, said at a Thursday conference that the city is targeting GDP growth of 6 to 6.5% in next year.
China's food price in November 2021. Vegetables, eggs, and many other kinds of food witnessed a drastic increase in price during November 2021. According to National Bureau of Statistics in China, fresh vegetable price surged by 30.6% in November compared to last year. The gains follow a 15.9% year-on-year rise in October, as flood and other extreme weather in recent months have hit farms. Although the supply of vegetables increased in November, price was still up on a monthly basis by 6.8%. Other food price rose in China last month for an overall increase of 1.6% year-on-year amid a global surge. The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations said its International Food Price Index jumped by 27.3% year-on-year in November to its highest since June 2021. The Statistics Bureau said the price of eggs jumped by 20.1% in November compared to 2020, while that of freshwater fish climbed 18%. Investors are concerned that rising price, including food price, will put pressure on China's economy while it has already slowed. The worst case is that China may fall into a state of stagflation, with high inflation but still a stagnant economy, which might further drag down the economic growth. Conversely, the price of pork, a staple in Chinese diets, remained well below the highs of last year, with a year-on-year decline of 32.7% in November, although it rose 12.2% from October, and this can be blamed for the high rate of repopulation. The CPI, which is highly sensitive to pork price, overall rose less than expected in November, up 2.3% versus the 2.5% predicted by Reuters, while PPI surged by 12.9%, topping expectations of a 12.4% increase. But November's level marked a slowdown from October, when the index climbed 13.5%. The PPI in China also has climbed by record levels this year as commodity prices have soared.
Vietnam's economic loss due to COVID-19 pandemic?
First, let's take a look at current situation. It can be seen clearly that Vietnam has suffered an economic loss, which is equivalent to 847 trillion Vietnam dong, or 37 billion USD due to COVID-19. It was predicted that without the pandemic, the national economy would have grown by 7%. However, because of the sudden appear of COVID-19, the real economic growth rate only increased to 0.91% in 2020, which is 3 times less than predicted, and is expected to increase by 2.5% this year. Next, we will find out why this situation happened. First, because of COVID-19, many private industry are in short supply of raw materials, face the risk of stopping production. Second, the outbreak severely affect the maritime, logistic, and distribution and retail sectors in the country. Finally, thirdly, imports and export are restricted due to the limited number of flights. And finally, the average salary is reduced. This is because the amount of working days decreased as a result of preventing this outbreak to spread widely. Next, we will move to the solution part. As a mitigating measure, Mr. Nguyễn Thành Phong, I believe he is the deputy head of the Central Economic Commission. He believes that it's necessary to have an economic recovery package with 4 key factors, which are investment, export, domestic consumption, and digital transformation. He also exposed that the primary driving force for economic growth would be investing to raise demand and supplies by encouraging domestic consumption. And beside that, Mr. Vũ Hồng Thanh, chairman of the National Assembly's Economic Committee, also showed agreement with Mr. Phong about the overall recovery package. Now I will go straightly to the detailed information of the economic recovery package. First, it should focus on stimulating both the supply and demand. Second, it must be implemented quickly and harmoniously coordinated. And finally, it must be large enough and focus on industry and fields that can recover quickly and safely. Well, move to the next part. There are some predictions about the result that we might gain from this plan. First, it might lead to the improvement in the country economy. Obviously, it will give the national economy a push as soon as the plan is implemented. For example, digital transformation can help many enterprises create or adjust the business process and meet the market requirements. Another example, investment can reduce the risks that industry have to take, like bankrupt or not have enough money to run any campaign. Another positive point that is predicted before is to avoid risks of waste. So, however, everyone has two sides, and there are also some concern about the effectiveness of the recovery package when it is implemented. First, the money might flows into the risky areas such as real estate and securities. So the government needs to ensure that the money flows right into the production. Second, we also need to care for the absorption capacity of the market when the recovery package are implemented. This is because the economy was experiencing low capital disbursement. Public investment disbursement was slightly above 70%. Public and credit growth was at around 8%, which was much lower than expected.
Weekly jobless claims tumbled last week, reaching a fresh 52-year low as the U.S. job market climbs out of its pandemic-era hole, the Labor Department reported Thursday. Initial filings for unemployment insurance totaled 184,000 for the week ended December 4th, the lowest going back to September 6, 1969, which saw 182,000. Job growth is expected to have been strong in November, and employers likely continue to boost wages to attract and retain workers in an incredibly tight labor market. Economists expect 573,000 jobs were created last month, up from 531,000 in October. According to Dow Jones, the unemployment rate is expected to have declined to 4.5% from 4.6%, and the average hourly wages are expected to have increased by 0.4% on a monthly basis, or 5% year over year. Luke Tilley, chief economist at Wilmington Trust, expects 300,000 jobs were created in November, based on private sector and weekly unemployment claims data. He expects the hiring trend is strong and will remain so, but also expressed his concern of fluctuations with the virus as well as the ups and downs of different industries. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said the central bank could speed up the tapering of its $120 billion a month bond buying programs, which it put in place to prop up the economy during the pandemic. Tilley also said the Fed will be looking for reasons behind the jobs report's weakness or strength, as it tries to assess what will be normal for the labor market post-pandemic. But the jobs report will also be judged by investors with an eye on what it means for the Fed policy. Financial markets have been sensitive to any nuance that could help determine the central bank timeline on completing its bond buying program, which is now expected to end in June 2022. Once the bond purchases end, the door would be open for the Fed to raise interest rate hikes.
Five years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
How long do we have?
7 days.
Eternals is the first blockbuster to fill theaters in Chi Minh City after reopening, saving the box office from dismal. According to a representative of Galaxy, the publisher, Eternals earned $7 billion in 3 days of premiere in Chi Minh City and some provinces. The film doubled the revenue of the first 3 days of Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings, which is more than 3 billion Vietnam dong, and is even higher than the total revenue of Shang-Chi until November 26, which is 6.3 billion dong. In the ranking of Box Office Vietnam, an independent box office survey unit, from December 3rd to December 6th, internal revenue was 9 times that of Shang-Chi, which is 836 million Vietnam dong, far ahead of other films like The Medium Soul in Body with 380 million, The Devil Below nearly 207 million, and The Suicide Squad which is 182 million. Eternals also achieved the high occupancy rates in cinemas in Ho Chi Minh City opened on November 19. Before that, the box office was gloomy for many days in a row. Theatre representatives expect that in December, many new movies will be released. The epidemic situation will be more controlled so that audiences can feel secure to come to the theatre. Eternal described the world 5 years after the events of Endgame, when the Avengers rescued Earth from the snap of Thanos. At this time, humanity faces a new danger. The Deviants, a race created by the Celestials, the powerful beings of the universe, awaken and wreak havoc on the Earth. The Eternals, a mighty race sent by Arishem the Celestial to Earth 7,000 years ago, assemble and hunt down the Deviant, saving humanity. The project, with a budget of $200 million USD, attracted the attention of a strong cast of actors such as actor Richard Martin, Asian American actress Gemma Chan, Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Ma Dong-seok, and Barry Cogan. The film scores individuals with dramatic melee. However, the film suffered a minus point in the script where it fell into many storylines. The director sometimes makes mistakes in interpreting the message, planting philosophy through the character dialogue. A number of Vietnamese films had screening schedules when the Ho Chi Minh City cinemas opened, confronting many Hollywood productions at the end of the year. Sweet Trap, 80-plus movie co-produced by Minh Hằng, starring Bảo Anh, Quốc Trường, hit theaters on December 31st. Competing for revenue with the horror film The World, Forest, and Shadows, directed by Lê Văn Kiệt, a work of the spiritual genre, hit theaters on December 24th. Previously shown films such as Victor Vu's Guardian Angel, Lý Hải, Flip 5 also returned to theaters to increase sales. Thank you for your attention to this news, and now is the time for weather broadcasting.